Okay, quick feedback, recorded feedback video here of the new D Hydro. Kind of a remake of the first polished gray box version, I guess. I don't think there's any better way to say that other than like a concept version, I'd say. Oh well, Cat would call it that quite literally. Okay, let's start from the T-spawn. We played 4 or 3 games in general. I'd say that the map suffers right now. It's pretty much all remade. It has the structure of the playtested the good old version, but some parts, like for example the mid and the B sewer area, has changed quite a bit. A didn't have that many big changes done to it. It's still the same horizontal T main kind of a thing, and then it like opens up to the bomb site. I really didn't see that big of an issue with this area. For example, like let's start with, just go to the most right spot. Yeah, I didn't have a big issue with this area. I thought that the first version, with all its rounded shapes and whatnot, it flowed a little bit better. But it's as time goes on, you're gonna like widen these kinds of areas, and I guess it wouldn't hurt the timing just to make it back into the hole. Like I don't think there was anything wrong with the old version, and if this becomes, upon further playtesting, if this angle or like this sight line becomes a problem at like late round for rotating terrorists, if they seem to get like stuck here, then maybe like a higher up walkway, kind of the way that you had in the polished version. Yeah, maybe that could work. Some of the visual clarity here kind of was lost with this area being split into 2 like this. This wall works. It's kind of in a late round situation. It's really hard to clear out this whole area with like the wall. So I guess that's used for like a T base in a sense, that the T's really get a stranglehold over this area. Then I saw you use some spots like this, for example, as a pushing CT. First of all, you have this window which T's have to boost to get like this alternate peeking angle to there. This is for strictly made for punishing CT aggression in this area, which also you made this for. It's very obscure, like a little peeking angle. Then there's this, and then lastly there's like this. So this is like super T dominated area, and you shouldn't, as a CT, it's a very high risk, high reward. I'd say high risk, low reward, in the sense that you don't really get anything from here, and this is like very easy to clear as well. Well, except you have this here. But yeah, the high risk, high reward, the high reward aspect becomes, it starts here, since this is like 3 paths connecting into one little choke point. So keeping this on a CT hold is it's probably the biggest thing that you can do as a CT playing A. This is the macaroni spot that that everyone loves. It's not so much of a macaroni. It's like a mac and cheese box or whatever. I don't know, cereal box. It's nice to see the wallbang still being here. I didn't see that much being used, but the kind of the angle and the essence of the area is still there. You can flash over, and even as a retaking T, or retaking CT, or like a CT playing mid, it's like rotating back to the A. They can really help with the A defense in a way. I think that this version, what it does with the boxiness and the blockiness, there's one mark that it kind of loses or fights against itself in, is that these kinds of angles don't feel very good to retake. against. As a pushing, oh my god, as a pushing T, if you win this mid, I would say that like this is the worst thing in the map to fight against. First of all, you have this, again, the cereal box room to clear. Then you're open all the time. You're open to players rotating from behind you. First of all, then there's like this, which is the fastest way for a CT player to rotate back to A. So this is already a flank. So I don't really see a point of a terrorist taking mid if they're only gonna go into A, since that is already so awkward to push. Then there's this top area, which already is kind of dominating and dominated by this like headshot angle. So that's really awkward to play against, and you really don't have anything to fall back on, as well as playing as a T. So you push up, you manage it. Like, I don't know how you would be able to clear all this, but maybe it's just like that no one peeks, but there is a passive CT there or something. But then a player peeks from there, you kill him or whatever, and then the last dude like peeks from the bomb site or wherever the defending player is from. You really don't have anything to fall back on or fall back to mid. So I'd say the mid in its current state is kind of obsolete. Yeah, I just think that there needs to be a little straighter line that goes closer to the bomb site if the mid is going to be something worth taking for the CTs. I mean, for the Ts. The mid, I'm gonna touch upon a little bit later on what the mid actually gives the terrorists currently. But yeah, and more about the whole map layout in a more general sense. I thought that this version, the bomb site cover is kind of in the same place. You still have this backplat area, but like from the last version, on the more polished version, you push the bomb site a little bit further, so these kinds of plants are still possible. I'd say that you have to expose yourself from, to here and to the mid to gain like this very advantageous plant, or you have to commit to this, which is also very open to retaking CTs, which are gonna be here most of the time anyway. So those kinds of plants need to have a smoke popped in this area. So I'd say the only couple of good plants that are viable for the Ts are the main plant zone plants, or like this plant right here. That's what we call main plant. And it's also being easily dominated by this like ramp area here, which has that angle. That's kind of a one and done. But then again, the terrorist can literally just like peek, listen for a fake, peek, fake them out, and then if the CT starts running towards you, you have all of this cover that you can fall back on, and if there are two equally skilled players playing against each other, it's the map is just going to favor the terrorist here, and the bomb site is made so at the moment that this plant is the only thing that is worth going for. So yeah, the CT angle, this I didn't really have that much or that big of a thing against. I guess like this here. So later, like these kinds of angles, this is seriously broken. This needs to be fixed. Easy fix, just like plop. And the original version where the CT kind of angle went like, or the CT walkway wrapped around like from behind here, that you wouldn't need to expose yourself to that, I think that was better for like more varied retake positions, and also I don't know, it really felt safer to retake from there, and it helped to divide the A side of CT spawn a little bit better. So the spots felt more like designated. I'd say. That's the best word that I can find for that. Moving to here, I already gave Catfood some feedback on this spot. So I'd say like this dual entrance. Well, okay, I'm gonna actually talk about like only this, since CT is kind of easy to hold on its own, even though you have two of these kind of a varied height differences here to play or retake from, and then you can also retake from like very close here. Yeah, so okay, let's go back to here. So it would be kind of a cool idea to have some sort of a elevated angle to also clear these two peaking spots, since this is the quickest and fastest way for, and also the safest way for CTA players to rotate through here without taking the mid. I'd say for retaking purposes, this sewer entrance is just too far away for a CT to consider for a good rotation path when they're actually rotating from the bomb site in itself. So I'd say this is just way more convenient. It's closer, you don't have to make all that noise with the water, and it pretty much just comes out from a safer spot behind the bomb site. So yeah, but what the problem is here, that every engagement here feels very dull and very samey, because you only have one angle. It's like you either hold here, hold an off angle like this, or hold close angle like that, and very occasionally you'll get the CT player coming in. So in the older version, you had a vent going from the top that would like connect initially back to the CT. The CT entrance would be like further back here or whatever, and then the vent would give you basically what this entrance give now in this version. You could make a vent here that would like wrap around and drop down on top. That could be something very interesting to have, like, you know, two different angles, and the vent could be like one way as well, so it's a quick way down. Also, interestingly, I already gave this feedback, but reiterating again, I feel that the mid as it is right now, it feels kind of a dull. You don't really have that good of like a cross engagement. This would work better as like a banana shape area in general. Right now, I kind of feel that you have to like clear only this right side. Clearing right, there's kind of a deep angle, clearing right, and then you have one left, clearing right. You smoke these off. Where do you go? You have to make a choice here. So, and going B through the mid is not it's just not an option. So maybe the vent idea could solve that. So you could truly smoke these off, pop the vent, drop down here, make tons of noise, and then there's also the like you're dropping down, and maybe you could be seen from here as well. Like you're dropping, the vent is literally there. You could be like spraying through the vent, engaging in that way, and you could like get out of the danger by like strafing or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, that's one idea that I had for that area. And then also this, I think this wall needs to be pushed a little bit back, and maybe making it so that there's like a box here, so that you can peak these angles naturally, and then you can push a little bit closer, and then like start clearing these kinds of angles without being in danger, and then starting to retake. And the box needs to be made so that it's like, sorry, slanted the other way, so it doesn't give any cover to a player holding here, since this is already very tight spot to squeeze through. So I just feel like the like a corner, sloped corner thing like that would be beneficial for a retaking thing. So it's honestly just used for this angle, so you can peek this angle safely and then push a little bit closer to the bomb side. Yeah. Then moving onward to the sewer spot. So okay, I felt that the map was like 75% sewer, 35% everything else. Sorry, 25% everything else. Nice, quick maths. And then B bomb side was literally just this strip of map here. Again, the same problem with A bomb side. This is the only favorable plant zone. I don't see a well, maybe here, maybe a very clear sewer plant, or like fake here, then do like 180. But this is very situational. But yeah, maybe a sewer plant here. Also, I noticed that this area got squeezed in a little bit, I feel like. So distances, when you travel a distance between like the bomb side and the fish spot, as we called it, players, I felt like players could be almost anywhere at any time. Like, bomb has been planted, they could be here, or in like 2 seconds they could be in the main, like holding the furthest possible point, and in a couple more seconds they could be in the water, just like flanking to the bomb side and holding completely different angle. So I didn't feel that much risk / reward to the dangerous and risky rotations of T's. It's like taking the stroll and surprising the diffusing CTs from an alternate angle. I just didn't see the risk reward there. I mean, the risk reward balance, there's definitely a risk reward, but there is no risk, and there is all reward in this plant here. I would be satisfied with like it being like this, so you would have to plant in the open, in the view of that, or then here away from the view of those angles, but you would have to take more of the backside, if that makes any sense. What else? Okay, so now to the main map structure. So you have two T-controlled entrances to the A bomb side, which are the A main, unchanged, pretty much unchanged from the OG version, and then you have the squeaky, which this area has generally stayed kind of the same. So A has seen the least changes thus far. Then the other T-controlled spots for B are only this B main, and I guess how the timings allow, with a couple of smoke grenades, or quite literally one smoke grenade, you can get the sewer entrance controls as well. There is a downside for CTs smoking this off, which is giving the second entrance for B to T's quite freely. I was very surprised to see this sewer position playing how it played. So most of the time, the CTs smoked, or sorry, mollied the B main, and saying most of the time, I mean literally every round. So they would molly the B main and then push to the sewer spot, because this cuts off a very quick rotation between the mid, which connects to the flank of A, away from the T's. So if CTs somehow manage to get the control of this area here, they quite literally control the T rotations in the level. That's number one reason. And the number two reason is that it literally just gives a straightaway closer path to the B-bomb side, which can be also, all of the danger can be taken away with one smoke. And I guess if you have people flowing in with from like the B main, you can also just with one smoke and a closer entrance can get the control of B-bomb side very easily. Wow. I guess that's mostly B-bomb side. I didn't really touch upon the cover. I would make it so that like the bomb side would be a little bit, it's just not that much. It's just like 64 units more open on like this way, so that like these boxes would be moved a little bit that way, and there was something in this backside spot that you could play in a retake against like all of these spots. Yeah, kind of like the fish spot number 2. Maybe something wall bangable? I don't know. Then, okay, the mid is kind of... Also, I was very surprised from like comparing to my initial opinion on how the mid seemed to play after like only playing a couple rounds. But after playing 4 games, it actually shifted to the quite fast-paced meta that I already explained, of like CT smalling that and then pushing here and then trying to get this sewer under control. So what the CTs actually did with the middle is that they always had like an AWP like posted up here with smokes and mollies ready to go. And what the Ts did in return, they pushed up here as much as they could, just to lurk around here and to look out for any daring CTs pushing this. But there were some rounds that the CTs didn't like push past this sideline angle here, so they just like stuck around this, and then there are a couple more perfect spots for CTs to hold. For example, like use that spot, get a kill, drop down here, and then retreat behind this. So I think this new version of the sewer played really well, but it does need some pacing. And yeah, I guess you kind of put some pacing in this spot already by making that very tight, and also the pushing of players through here if there's another player on the opposite side. It's kind of dangerous. It's good that you didn't make it so that you could have this cover like seeing there, because then I'd say that the Ts would just like camp there, and you know, this spot would have way too much emphasis on the B playability, I'd say. What else? Yeah, I don't know. After the 4 games, my initial thoughts that the map is still flawed, as it should be. You're remaking a map, putting some new ideas, tons of new ideas to a layout that had like a working. That was in many people's, me included, in opinion, the map was. I mean, it played really well, but I 100% get the feeling that like you need to rework some new ideas or some angles or whatever, and then you just need to reshape the rest of the map to fit those ideas. So I'm here with the feedback to help you iron out those kinds of things. But yeah, you can't really expect for this rough of a gray box map to perform like the last one did. So I hope everyone else playing the map had and giving feedback had the same expectations when testing a rough around the edges map like this. But yeah, it's a good start, and this concept can really work, and the 4 games that we played, it's a proof of concept, I'd say. So yeah, that's my 25 minutes of feedback. 3, 2, 1. Bye.